Homeowners are increasingly becoming more friendly with their neighbors amid the pandemic. In fact, according to the home improvement marketplace ImproveNet, 57% say their neighbors have actually helped to fill the void of visiting with friends and family. While it might be impossible to spark a friendship with every neighbor on the block, you might find that some neighbors aren't exactly your cup of tea. Joining us to discuss is national etiquette expert Diane Gottsman. Diane, great to have you with us on the show. Now, we turned to our own Cheddar employees for some of their unpleasant neighborly run-ins. They are incredible. So today we're going to tell you their stories and ask how you would address them. All right, first up. Okay, the neighbors directly above me have a toddler who screams, cries, and stomps around at all hours of the day. How do you approach a neighbor with an issue like that, especially because they are also dealing with that same screaming child 24/7?
Exactly. So, and thank you for having me, by the way. I'm thrilled to be here. So, they probably are home when they might have been in an office environment, just a few short months ago. So I think that the first and foremost thing we need to do is give them a little grace. If this is really ongoing and really upsetting and it's interfering with their work environment, plus their sanity, if they can chat with that neighbor themselves, you could even say, I know that you are probably upstairs, struggling and trying to keep your multiple children busy, but I'm really having difficulty down here. Is there anything that you can do? So that's one option. The second option is you could talk to the office manager. You may never see your upstairs neighbor. So feel free to call management and let them know that you're having some difficulty. You understand the situation. I think tone of voice and respect and politeness goes a long way here in trying to solve this problem.
All right, great advice on that one. Next up, this Cheddar employee says, my downstairs neighbor has the ugliest laser beam projector Christmas light shining on the side of our house. How do I ask them to take it down?
Is it okay? So is it shining on the side of the neighbor's house? So it's not even on their own home? And whether it is or whether it's not, if it's shining on their own home and the lights are directly on their home, I don't know that there's much that you can do unless it is blinding someone or blinding, a driver at night. If it's on their home, I'm not quite sure. That might be a homeowners association question if there is one. But I think, again, the best thing to do is go knock on your neighbor's door. Of course, we're social distancing, so you might have to email them or give them a call rather than seeing them face to face, and just say, this makes me uncomfortable. I really don't want it on my property. You can put it on your property, but overall, if it's not attractive, but it's on their particular property, I'm not certain that there's something you can do about it. There is noise pollution and there is light pollution. And if it's blinding, that's one thing. But if it's just ugly, that's a little bit different.
All right, good advice. This next one really hits me viscerally. All right, my next door neighbor is so chatty. It feels like every time I walk outside to do yard work or go for a walk, she's waiting for me and ready to strike up a conversation. She's not taking my hints, so how do I politely tell her that I cannot chat?
So, that's just an awkward moment because you don't want to be impolite, and she is trying to be polite. But I think that body language is key here, and brevity. So you can say, good morning, Mary. How are you? It's great to see you. I've got a busy day. Or, hello, Jan. How are you? And maybe just keep walking. So it's not a matter of stopping and talking. You can even say, I appreciate your chats, but I have to tell you that please don't think I'm rude. I am always on a deadline, so I'm having to run inside. I have to take care of some projects. So I think that you're honest. Your tone of voice is positive, but you don't need to feel stuck standing outside to have this 20-minute conversation with someone. Again, it's courtesy, but it's being assertive.
Yes, no one needs to get stuck in conversations these days anymore. All right, next up, my next door neighbor's home is the eyesore of the block. He never mows his lawn and there's junk piling up on his driveway. Recently, trash has even been blowing into my yard from his. How do I deal with this?
how athletic is he? Or how motivated is he? Because he might want to go over and just say, listen, I'm going to mow, when I'm mowing my lawn, I'm going to mow your lawn as well. It might be an elderly neighbor. It might be somebody who doesn't know that this is happening, although I know most of the time we're aware. So again, communication is key. That's important. But then if there's a homeowners association, you might have to take it to several levels up. But if things are blowing into your yard, if it's a piece of if it's a piece of trash, you pick it up and toss it. But when it becomes a nuisance, you have to make some plans, and that would be to communicate with your neighbor, ask for their consideration. You might want to get some neighbors to help if they are having struggles, and then take the necessary steps with whomever you can. If there's a homeowners association, whether you opt to call the police. I think that's real. And, because that's one of the questions I'm asked, should I call the police? I think that's an extreme, unless it's absolutely endangering someone.
All right, Dan, this next Cheddar employee says, and this neighbor has good intentions, so I kind of like this one. My neighbor keeps picking up my packages and then hand delivering it to me a couple of days later. It's nice of him because I'm not always home, but sometimes I think my packages are missing, so I report them to management, only to find that he has kept them. How do I politely ask him to stop?
Oh, I think you politely ask him to stop, just like that. Just say, I appreciate that you are being proactive and picking up my boxes. Thank you so much. But, it would be easier if you just leave them for me, because I will get them when I get home. Hopefully they're not going to get taken, though. That's another risk. But, I will get them when I get home. And that way you're not having to come bring them to me, and I'm not confused or reporting them. So again, you notice the general theme is courtesy, consideration, tone of voice, being polite. Communication is key.
Sounds like good advice for any relationship that you have, neighbors or otherwise. Diane, thank you so much for your time today. Great advice. That's national etiquette expert Diane Gottsman. Thanks again.